earlier today I took you on a tour of my grow room to show you my grow light setup and where I start my seeds. But I think what we're all really wondering is what in the world can you possibly be planting in January and February in Minnesota? Well, growers gotta grow. And so, regardless of any of this stuff ever makes it to the garden, I had to start some seeds. I had to grow some stuff, and sometimes I even buy some plants. And so, I'm going to show you what I have going under my grow lights right now. And hopefully, you will also share with me what you're doing for fun during the winter months. Alright, so here we are. Let's just start at the top and work our way down. So, my daughter Molly turned 7 this year at Christmas time, and she got a fairy garden. She started the seeds in her bedroom, and the window is north facing, and it wasn't very bright, so her little plants shot right up. So I brought it down here to be under the grow lights for a while, but I just installed these fans today, and the fans started to blow over her little seedling. So I turned the fan off on the shelf and turned on the lights, and hopefully they'll start to point a little bit more upwards. Over here I've got some basil starts, and you're gonna see in just a minute how sick my addiction really is. But I got a new order of basil seeds, and so I wanted to start these. Some of these, and I'm going to get them mixed up, but some of them are brand new cultivars that are have been raised finally to have some disease resistance, and they're in here too, and I think I know which ones they are, so I'll share with you. These two front ones I believe are the two disease resistant varieties. So Rutgers Passion is one. This one has not come up yet. I just planted these a couple of days ago. This is Rutgers Devotion. Both of them are new. This is a new one to me. I don't know that it's actually new. It looks like it's sprouting up already, and it's called Mamalo Basil. This is Isle of Naxos, Aroma 2, and then in the back there I have Dolce Fresca, and then 2 Prospera, and both of these are the new disease-resistant cultivars too. This is the Prospera Italian large leaf, and this is the Prospera compact plant. So I'm going to take you down to the next shelf, and you can kind of see the extent of my basil collection. I love basil. I love growing it, but I feel like I'm a little bit cursed because I can grow it really well, but I cannot keep a mature plant to save my life. They either flower really quickly and then kind of are no good anymore, or they get hit with disease. I don't know. I don't have a lot of luck, but I really love it. So I just want to try all the kinds of basil and see if there are some that I can grow really well. I'm not really a fan of some of the more flavored ones, I guess, like the lime and the lemon. I've got some of them in here, but I had the seeds, so I'm going to grow them. Some of these are duplicate because I had forgotten that I already planted them, but this is the Emerald Towers. This is one that grows really vertically. It looks kind of cool. It's kind of, I don't know, pine tree-like in its shape, so that'll be a fun one to grow. This is that Prospera Compact again, the Rutgers Basil, Dolce Fresca, and Aroma 2. This is Holy Basil, and I really overseeded the snot out of this. I'm not sure why I did that, but I did, so I'm going to have some Holy Basil to transplant. This is Spicy Globe, Lemon, Thai Basil, and then there's that Prospera large leaf. And then back here I have 2, let me pull this tray out a little bit. I have 2 plantings of dark purple basil, and I'm noticing that I've had these for a couple of years, the seeds for a couple of years, and they start off really dark purple, and then they kind of go to this almost variegated, I don't know, it's kind of splotchy with green. There's even a pure green one in there. So I don't know if that was a seed mix-up or what, but my dark opal basil is really spotty with green. And I will say they did get a little bit stressed that I was underwatering them at one point. They were kind of dried out, so I don't know if that would do it, but it certainly could. This one is just your typical sweet basil. And then back there, I'm trying this for the first time. This is lettuce leaf basil. And the leaves on this are supposed to get, about the size of your palm. And so I'm really looking forward to making something like a caprese salad, or maybe even like a BLT with some of that on it would be really delicious. This tray, I just gave a little shot of fertilizer because it looks like it's maybe overgrowing its nutrients. I just got these little trays at the dollar store, and I just wanted to try growing some greens in them and see if I could get some food going in my basement. And sure enough, I do, and I've probably got a couple of salads here. I don't know that I'll actually eat them, but I just like to grow them. So here I've got a tray of greens. Back here in this pot, these are Tom Thumb peas. And so if there is anything that I know that I can grow in the winter entirely in my house, it is these Tom Thumb peas. And I will get a few peas off of them. I did last year, although I'm not sure I took real good care of the plant, and I want to do better this year. But hopefully we'll have some fresh peas in the basement before spring even hits. This tray has some additional herbs in it. So these are both cilantro. Cilantro is another one of those herbs that I feel like I can grow really well from seed, and then they bolt. And then they're done. And so I decided I'm just going to kind of keep some going this year. This is a variety. It's called slow bolt cilantro. So I'm going to try that this year and see if that helps. And then this one is called... I don't know what this one is. It just says cilantro pack. It must be one of the old ones that I had. But this slow bolt one actually looks a little bit nicer than this. What looks like was probably an older seed. I've got some chamomile going. I wanted to try some dill. I am not planning to put that out in the garden, but I thought maybe I could grow it as like an indoor plant that I could use as dill weed seasoning. So hopefully that works out well. These are a couple of different kinds of lettuce. Let's see. Royal red. This is Palco spinach. This is arugula. Is it? Okay. Butter crunch here. And then I made a mistake here. This is a little Tom Thumb lettuce, and he's not going to do so well because he's going to get shaded out and overgrown by these larger lettuces. So I might have to do some transplanting if I'm going to save those. So that's the dill. I have spearmint. I haven't really had a lot of good luck with any mints growing from seed, so I'm really excited to see some of those seedlings come up. This is thyme. I'm usually able to grow thyme. It looks like this didn't germinate very well. I do have one little plant going here though, so that's plenty. I don't use a lot of thyme. My cat likes to eat it, which is kind of strange. She also likes spinach and kale. What did she eat the other day that I thought was kind of funny? I don't remember. She's a veggie lover. It's weird. Okay, so here I've planted some sage too. So common sage, broadleaf sage, and then summer savory. And I love savory, but what I planted last year didn't get big enough for me to do anything with through the summer. And so I'm hoping that I'll have enough savory to dry this year and hold me over till winter. And then oregano I've got going back there too. My oregano last year grew way too slowly for me to use it, and we make a lot of spaghetti sauce out of our tomatoes, and so I should really also plant some more oregano. This little guy is adorable. This is belongs to my daughter Molly. She just turned 7 in December, and this is a sensitive plant. She planted this, and when you touch it, it responds by curling up. So this is a fun little plant for kids if you've got little kids and they like to get involved and get kind of under your feet while you're doing your planting. This is a really great, fun thing for them to plant. As is cat grass. She planted this too much later. I think she planted this at the same time we did those peas. And it grows like crazy. It grows really fast. This is a variegated kind. My cat actually hasn't shown a lot of interest in that, and she didn't last year either, so she would much rather eat the herbs, I guess. This is, I just wanted to do a little trial run of my peperoncini because I haven't had good luck with them before, and you can see that they're, again, not doing great. One thing, so I only planted this side of the cell pack, but one thing I did not do with these is I did not put them under over a heat mat. I don't use heat mats unless I feel like I have to because it gets really warm under these lights, and more often than not I have cooked my seedlings, especially if I use a heat mat in conjunction with a humidity dome. You don't want to do that. If you do use a humidity dome, make sure you remove it as soon as your seeds are germinated. But I've killed some seedlings in the past by letting them get too hot. So I haven't done that, but I think in my official round of planting for peppers, I am going to use a heat mat, but I might skip that humidity dome or just put a little layer of plastic wrap over it to try to retain some of the moisture in there. So down here I started, well, this plant is a basil plant from the grocery store, and look at that, it looks like it might even start flowering, so I'm going to pick that off. I bought the basil. I used a lot of it to make a caprese salad, and it was just about dead, and I put it near my kitchen, and I had these LED strip lights, so I put them under there, and they did not work, and this plant was really struggling. So I brought it down here, and I put it under these grow lights, and like magic, they just boom exploded, and they're doing really awesome. So that was just kind of a rescued grocery store basil. This is an experimental basil, so I looked up YouTube videos on how to successfully grow basil, of course, because that's what we do. And somebody did a video and basically said, just overseed the snot out of it, plant a ton of it, and let it go. And, you know, as you need it, and of course we know this part, and just making sure that you're pruning off the top, you know, and using it. And he said, don't thin it out, just let it grow with its, you know, multitude under there. So you can see there's a ton of basil plants in there. It's doing really well. And so this may be my go-to because I'd like to just have fresh basil in the house at all times if I can. So that's going pretty well. This is rosemary, and this was almost dead. It was bought from a nursery, just a little starter plant last spring, and I grew it in my grow tower, and then in the fall I brought it in to try to save it. And again, I kept it under those LED grow lights. I had a set of, you know, the red and blue ones that stick to stuff. And then I also, you know, I didn't feel like that was working, so I bought a strip of white LED lights too. I think that helped a little bit, But again, I got my grow lights plugged in and I brought this down here, and it has just taken off in comparison to what it was. I know it still looks a little scraggly, but it's a lot better than it was. I'm starting to dabble a little bit more in houseplants too. These 4 actually, I just picked these up. I couldn't help myself. I was at Menards. We went there to buy this string and came home with these plants. So I knew I had seen this before. I didn't know what it was. Like I said, I'm kind of new to houseplants, and I thought, well, I gotta buy it. And by the way, these were, did I say Menards? I meant Fleet Farm. These were indoors in the middle of the store. They, you know, didn't have a lot of sunlight. Obviously, they were all kind of dried up and a little bit sickly looking. So, of course, I had to bring them home. And they're doing better now under the lights. But anyways, I liked this plant. Like I said, I knew I had seen it before. I didn't know what it was. And so right before this video, I used my... I have an app. It's called Picture This to help identify plants. And it is a rubber tree plant. And I didn't want a rubber tree plant. But I'm going to keep her anyway. She's pretty and she needs me. So I have a rubber tree plant. I have a couple of them now. And I must just like the way they look. Because I buy them and I don't know what they are until I get them home. And then I realize it's a rubber tree plant. And not really what I want. This is I think this is called, Swiss cheese philodendron. I've been wanting one of these. I really like them. This one is in pretty rough shape, but I know that I can nurse it. Well, I'm pretty sure I can nurse it back to health. I really like these holy leaves. I do have a monstera upstairs too, so I'm kind of a sucker for those plants with these chewed up leaves. And then these I thought were really interesting. I don't have a lot of faith in them, but at the same time, I think they're really cool. They're called patio fruits, and they're a banana and a Barbados cherry that apparently you can grow in containers on your patio. I think that's probably a long shot for us here in Minnesota. Obviously, they're not hardy. They're not going to come back for me. But I have a feeling I'm not going to get any fruit off these. And if I do, it will be because I brought them in and nurtured them through the winter. And even then, I'd be super surprised to get any fruits. But they look like fun. And I thought I'd try them. This is my murderous mistake. This is a Stromathe Trio Star, and I love it. It was a cutting that I bought from somebody locally on Facebook Marketplace. It was much bigger, right? So it was probably a cutting about this high when I got it, with giant leaves, a little bit of damage, dried up edges on the leaves that were there. But I kept it alive for a good while, and then this little offshoot started. Well, I think I got it too wet, and then all of a sudden, boom, this giant part of the plant just curled up really tight. It wasn't dry, that's for sure, so it must have been too wet. It just curled up, and in a matter of a couple of days, it was just unrevivable. So I brought it down here. I changed it. I repotted it into some drier, like, cactus mix. And it didn't save this portion of the plant. So this is dead and gone. The old part. But this little guy survived. And it was just this leaf. It was much smaller. And then this leaf was just a little kind of stick poking out at the middle of here, maybe this high. And so I'm really proud to have saved it, but I'm also worried because it'd be a shame to have such a beautiful plant and have to keep it down here in the basement under the grow lights. So I'll keep it down here until I know that it's nice and hardy, and I'll probably obviously replant it too because it's lopsided in this pot. With any luck, I'll get some more shoots off here, but this one I'm really really trying to rescue. Down here is just another bowl of salad greens that I planted. It's just a basic salad mix or maybe a mesclun mix. I'm not sure. This is a, there's a couple of names for it. One of them is Wandering Jew. And this was upstairs in my south-facing window, and it did pretty well there, but I thought it had gotten kind of cold, and so I brought it down here and put it under the lights. Well, I don't know. I think maybe it's gotten too much light, and I think it may be retaining a little bit too much water too, because it's not as supple as it was when I bought it. And so I'm going to be watching this one pretty carefully. These 3 containers actually have ginger in them. I've never grown ginger, so I just want to try it. I thought it would be fun to do in the house over the winter. They have not sprouted, but I've heard it can take a very long time. I just bought them from the grocery store, so with my luck, they're probably just rotting in the dirt there, but yeah, that does not look good. So, I don't know, maybe I'll give it another shot if this doesn't work. I don't know, if you've grown ginger in the house, let me know how that goes for you. I love ginger, and I think it'd be so awesome to just be able to grow my own. This is radishes, and this is something I just wanted to experiment with. I could probably look up the answer to my question, and I'll probably be disappointed, but I'm just wondering if I can grow radishes entirely indoors, and will they bulb? And I don't know if they're going to bulb, because I don't know what it is that triggers the bulbing for them, but at the very least, maybe I can put them outside in the spring and maybe they'll bulb up. To be honest, I don't like radishes usually, but I've heard, and I heard this from Jess from Roots and Refuge Farm, that if you need to learn to like radishes, try roasting them. And I believe her, because I love roasted vegetables, and I think it really changes the flavor of it and makes everything so much better. So I am going to try that, and I know for sure that taste can change, because if you remember from a couple of years ago, I did a video because I am a former tomato hater, and I had to try to learn how to like tomatoes after 40 years of not liking them, and sure enough, I can eat tomatoes now, and I like them even for the most part. So that's what I'm growing in January, February now in my house in Minnesota. I'm really interested to hear what other people are growing, and if there's anything that I can be starting right now that can go out in the garden in the spring. I think it's almost pepper time. But other than that, I'm just holding my horses to wait and see, or wait until the proper time to plant things to go into the outdoor garden. Share with me what you're planting, and I hope this helps you to get over some of your winter blues and try planting some stuff yourself. It's sad to see when they don't survive, especially in the winter when they're not really intended to, but at the same time, it's great. It's so great to be down here. I'm in the basement, but I feel like I'm outside. I feel like I'm in the bright light. I think that light therapy is a real thing, and it really helps. And so I love being down here, and it really is kind of therapeutic when you feel like you've been stuck indoors all winter, especially now during COVID-19. But that's all for today. Thanks, everybody. Happy growing.